What survival tips would probably get you killed? Saw this on a survival show. If you find a dead animal and it's fairly fresh, flies haven't set in, it's relatively safe to eat because A. It's fresh, B. Nothing has had a chance to spread disease to it by eating. Problem is that if you can't see a visible reason for death, it's probably disease that killed the damn thing and you're about to eat it. A girl on Naked and Afraid 40 Days quoted the survivalist that said this shortly after finding a bird on the ground of the jungle she was in. The bird was fresh, still warm, flexible, etc., just dead. She ended up contracting avian tuberculosis, which is apparently really hard to do if you're not a bird. This is why my parents always told me to not even touch dead animals. Exemption: our pets, but we knew why they died. I can't believe that anyone would just eat some random dead animal. Exactly, like you're begging to get sick. Wait, people eat freshly dead animals? Of course the thing died in a suspicious way. That clear water is safe water. Susie was a chemist. Susie is no more. For what she thought was H2O was H2SO4. Bars. Two men walk into a bar. One man orders H2O. The other says, "I'll have H2O too." The second man dies. The sussy water killed Susan. I would honestly just dehydrate myself to death at this point. Incorrect. Open doors and windows during a hurricane to have equal pressure inside and outside the house. Correct. Opening doors and windows during a hurricane could cause your roof to collapse. Edit: I got confused with tornadoes and hurricanes. I'm dumb. Correct. A hurricane should not be confused with a bombing raid. Even if this was true, it wouldn't make sense to do this in a hurricane anyways. You just get water in your home, which can do as much damage. This saying was usually used for tornadoes and was still wrong. Who would open their doors during a hurricane? That's begging to be killed. If you're in a high-rise building that's on fire, get to the roof. Most ladders don't go higher than 11 stories and most fire departments don't have access to helicopters to airlift people out. The company I used to work for had a building that was like 15 stories. The executive sat on the 11th floor instead of the top because of this. Wow, that's absolutely fucked. In our basic fire safety classes, our instructor also told us that you should not lock yourself at the restrooms just because it has water. Most people die because of suffocation in the fire. Throwing knives were a thing when I was in the army. If you have a knife and your opponent does not, don't give it to him or her. The enemy cannot push a button if you disable his hand. I'm doing my part. I would like to know more. Would you like to know more? Intensifies. The thing about survival tips is that they're best applied when you're facing certain death, and they work by bringing your survival chance up from 0% to anywhere between 5 to 20%. If you try to pull some survival stunt when you're not in mortal danger, it'll likely get you seriously hurt or killed. This guy puts it best. Don't go survival mode just because you got lost for 10 minutes in the forest. I always love hearing this one from people. If you're caught in an avalanche, just spit to figure out which way is up and dig yourself out. I think this advice really diminishes the serious danger of avalanches. I live in a town known for its ski areas, and the number of people I've heard parrot this advice is astonishing. We have several people die in avalanche-related incidents every year. Most of the time it's from trauma caused during the avalanche washout. My favorite response to this tip was from a professionally trained backcountry guide who said, "Yeah, you can spit all you want. But you're still stuck in snow that's compacted like concrete, and now, to make matters worse, you have spit all over your face." I've heard this before and I don't know why people think this would work. You're in a compact snowdrift in the dark, how are you going to see shit? Never mind determine where your spit is going. My guess is that 1, they think light transmits those snow really easily, and 2, they don't understand how compacted the snow of an avalanche is and they believe it's light and fluffy. Had a coworker try and tell me once the best way to disarm a guy pointing a handgun at your face was to quickly slap his hand holding the pistol because it would shock him into dropping it. I've never tested the theory, but I'm willing to bet any shock would just as likely cause the trigger finger to clench as well. There's tons of martial arts research on this. Triggers are faster than disarm techniques. Trying to take a pistol away, even by a trained and skilled practitioner, is hugely dangerous. There's a guy in Detroit showing disarms that are likely to get someone killed. He's routinely mocked and condemned on martial arts forums for the high level of dangerous BS in his videos. Adding on to this, when I was taking martial arts classes, any class that touched on disarming techniques was finished with the statement, if someone is pointing a gun at you, just give them what they want, and they'll probably go away. If they don't and you 100% know for a fact they are going to kill you, then try something you learned here today. It probably won't work, but a 1% chance of survival is better than none. Years later I joined the army, and 90% of the hand-to-hand combat instruction I was given was maintaining positive control of your weapon. I guess moral of the story is, when guns are in play, just give the guy your wallet. I used to attend martial arts too. No need to be a hero. Your wallet's contents can be replaced, your life can't. Conserving all of your water. If you're thirsty, drink. The term is hydration, not hide rations. Go all dusty bottoms on that water and start chugging. Drink, yes. But only a little at a time. You want to get enough to replace what you lose to sweat and breath, but you want to concentrate your urine. If you drink like you have plenty of water, your kidneys will just dump it overboard. Not drinking your water when lost and thirsty because you're almost out of water. There are lots of people found with water left who were fully dehydrated but too scared to run out of water. The best place to store water is your body. Straight from Dune. Almost as if the freemen, living in the desert, might know what they were doing. Yeah, exactly. Don't forget tour still suit. That's actually a tip I didn't know about. But it must be scary to have limited water in deserts. Go for help. Unless you are totally out of options. You probably should not do that. What you should do is stay where you and make it easier for rescuers to spot you. Signal fire, hang bright fabric, etc. Find shelter and stay put. Exposure will kill you fast. I remember in Boy Scouts they taught us STOP. Stop, think, observe, plan. Also, if you're lost and you keep moving, you're probably only getting further from where people might expect you to be. Or you might find yourself in a place where some animal won't appreciate you being. Bear, I very much don't appreciate you being here. Me, gosh, I'm so sorry. My stepdad told me if I come across a bear, the best thing to do is, if you're fast enough, when the bear opens his mouth to bite you, shove your hand down its throat, grab his tail and pull him inside out. His logic seems pretty solid, lol. Your stepdad was Kratos. I see nothing wrong with this. I used to hunt bears like this back when I had both my arms. Milling accident. Run in a zigzag away from crocodiles, it just tires you out. Grew up in Florida. If you're both on land, and the croc/gator is being aggressive, charging, snapping, you sprint the fuck away in a straight line and avoid water and the shoreline. You can outrun a croc on land over short distances. If you're in the water, you move calmly and steadily out of the water, avoiding splashing at all cost. If one gets its teeth on you and lets go, you run. If it doesn't let go, it's probably going to try to pull you to the water. Attack the eyes, or the head. If you have access to the inside of its mouth, because it has your arm or leg, you attack the back of the throat. Don't fight a gator or croc. Any attack should only be to create opportunities to flee. On your first day in prison, beat someone up. It's actually said by prisoners to keep to yourself, but don't let anyone punk you. They will see you as an easy target. Don't do any favors either. Also, don't accept gifts from people you don't trust. Hey, man, I'm not gonna eat this. You can have it. Can turn into I gave you my lunch, now you owe me pretty fast. Cool, man, just wait a couple hours and I'll give it back to you. You'll barely even tell the difference in appearance or taste. Hey, that sounds like a great tip if you plan on going to prison. And dying in a fight in it. Trying to grab a gun when held at gunpoint. This always shocked me. A person would pull the trigger when startled by the movement. Plus a 9mm, the most common pistol round travels around 1100-1200 FPS. This means the bullet would reach you before you even heard it. Edit, spelling. Just stick your finger in the barrel to stop the bullet. Work for Bugs Bunny. Instructions unclear. Penis stuck in gun. Moss grows on the north side of trees. The moss will grow wherever the conditions allow it to grow. staring at a trunk completely covered by moss. Well, I don't know how, but we're at the North Pole. A tree exactly on the North Pole has all sides facing south. That would put you at the South Pole. Well, it does grow on the northern side of trees. I always found this confusing. Then again, I barely go to any forests.